In the red corner, I've got the iPad Pro, and in the blue corner, I've got literally everything else. I'm gonna make a longer video about this topic, but in this video, it's just my conclusions. Should you buy the iPad Pro or should you buy something else? Headline conclusion is that for most things, there is something better than the iPad Pro, but there's nothing else which is as good at all it can do than the iPad. The iPad is the best all-rounder. It's a jack of all trades. If you ask me honestly, I can only have one device, it's probably going to be an iPad. Now, trust me, I'm no Apple fanboy. I'm an Android user. I just find them too locked down, but let's face it, they are the best tablets. So I wanted to put that to the test, and the results were not quite what I thought they'd be. Usually I travel with a laptop. I like to do a little bit of light photo or video editing on the go. And you never know when you might need to respond to an email or do something that can only be done in a desktop browser. Or maybe you need to use that certain full Windows program. On my last holiday, I decided to just take the iPad and I'd work out a way to do everything I needed to do on it. Here's the thing though, I didn't take it out of the bag once. And that's because I use my phone for browsing or for buying tickets and for some light photo and video editing. I used it for a bit of basic document editing and for writing ideas, all the things that I do with a device on a daily basis when I'm not full on working. And the only thing that I couldn't really do on my phone was that we wanted something to connect to the TV to watch a bit of Netflix on. And we ended up using my wife's laptop that she brought just in case she needs to do a bit of work. So what was wrong with the iPad? Well, nothing at all. It's a perfectly good screen for watching TV, but the laptop just made more sense. It's got a full HDMI output, it's got that 16:9 1080p aspect ratio. It just made more sense to leave that plugged in by the TV than the iPad. It was definitely the better thing for that specific job. And that's really the point. For any specific job, there probably is something better than the iPad, but for all jobs, there's nothing better. There's one thing that maybe I think might be better on the iPad than anything else, and that would be teaching. You see, I find this incredibly useful for teaching, especially given the quality of the Microsoft apps that are now on the iPad, and that links in so well with my school's Microsoft system. So I'm sticking to my guns on that for teaching, actually, this is the best thing. The reason it's such a good all-rounder really comes down to the apps. Do you remember the early iPhone ads? There's an app for that. In the early days of iPhone, that was really the reason to buy an iPhone over its competitors, was the sheer number of apps that you could do just about anything on your phone. And although many of the other competitors have fallen away and Android has caught up in terms of the number of apps, the apps for the iPad are just that little bit better still. They're still ahead of the game. Also, compared to other tablets, the hardware is just that little bit better. But the biggest advantage is still the App Store. Nobody wants a tablet, everyone wants an iPad. And with good reason. It's remarkably good. It's the one thing you want if you only want one thing, but it's rarely the best at any individual job. And you know what? They just keep getting better and better. And if you want my full thoughts on the iPad versus everything else, then check out my longer comparison video. I'm gonna compare the iPad to everything else in a bunch of different use cases. Check it out.